Okay, let's just go ahead and get right into it. I have some reflective mirror vinyl here, and I did get this on Amazon. It's just like regular vinyl. I think it's 651 vinyl, and it is called mirror vinyl, I believe. And so I am going to put it on all of the different pieces on the inside of the Sunlu box. As you can see, I've already taken it apart here. We have all of our separate pieces, and I'm already using this box, so I took it apart for the demonstration and to add all the other pieces of the vinyl. As you can see, this is the door, and I have already put vinyl on it, and it's the front of the door with all my decorations, and it's quite reflective. You can see it shows, it's pretty much like a mirror. So we have all of the other pieces. This is the back piece, which has the lights on it, so it goes in the very back, and that's where you're going to have all of the reflection coming off of. So you have your side pieces there, and the top and bottom pieces. Now for the back piece, I'm going to cut above where the base goes, and I'm also going to cut 2 pieces out to go on either side of the lights. And the best way to do that is to just get your ruler and start measuring. I'm not going super precise on the measurements. I don't need it to cover every single surface that is open. I'm basically just getting the basic measurements of everything. On the side pieces, I'm not worried so much about it being this perfect square either, and I'm not worried about it being angled like how the side pieces are angled. So for the bottom piece, I'm going to go ahead and take the turntable off, just using the little Phillips head screwdriver that came with it, and I am going to measure the full piece, but I will be cutting out some little holes for all of the raised pieces that have the different things connected to make the UV Lightbox work. So just grabbing my vinyl here and going to measure everything out and start cutting. And like I said, I don't go I'm not worried about things being super exact and super precise. You can kind of just go, this isn't one of those times that you have to worry about that so much. Which is nice, because there are so many other things in our craft that we do need to be super exact and super precise. As I cut each piece out, I'm just writing on the back paper what section it goes to, so I remember. Okay, so we have all of the pieces cut out now, and the first piece I'm going to work with is the bottom. And just like anytime you are going to apply vinyl, you want to make sure that your surface is nice and clean. So I'm just going to spray on some isopropyl alcohol and use a lint-free microfiber cloth to clean that off. I'm just getting up any dust, oils, anything that might have spilled on the bottom, as I've been working with this UV box for a while now. So this is the bottom piece that I cut out, and I am going to make some marks so I know where to score for these little raised pieces. I'm just going very basic, again, not being super exact, because it's a personal item, so I'm not so worried about who may or may not see my scored vinyl. So I'm just taking my craft knife and scoring these marks here. As you can see, just making little holes so that when I lay the vinyl down, it will give it a spot to poke up. I'm just taking half of the backing off to start with. Just line up that center hole and go ahead and push it around the rod where the turntable screws onto. And you can see I'm just cutting off any extra vinyl, poking holes where there might be any bubbles. Basically, you just want to make sure that it lies nice and flat against the bottom surface here. And we're just going to repeat on the left side. Clean it off with the alcohol and peel and stick. Now the right side, you'll know, is going to have the switch on it, and that switch it connects to the light, and it just lets the machine know if the door is open or closed and whether or not the light should be on or off. So my video went a little wonky here, but I did clean the top piece off. It's just not recorded. But same thing, clean it off and lay your vinyl down. For the back piece, I just kind of cover the lights. That way I'm not spraying the alcohol directly on the lights. So wipe it down and lay down your vinyl. And of course, do your door piece. Mine's already done. So now we're getting to the point where it's almost time to put it together. Now, every one of these vinyl pieces has this clear protective layer on it, which is great because then you're not scratching it up as you're applying it to your pieces. So just very carefully find a little piece at the corner where you can lift it up and peel it off, and you have that maximum beautiful reflection without any of those scratches that was on the protective film. So I'm going to do those as I'm working here. And I don't remember how the box instructions said to put it together, so I'm just going to kind of do it as it feels logical to me. But yeah, so let's go ahead and move along. We're going to go ahead and put the turntable back on the bottom here. Something I did want to mention is that you don't actually need the turntable once you do this modification with the reflective vinyl. The reason why the turntable is here is so that the pens get equal exposure to the UV light. Working with UV resin isn't the same as working with epoxy, where you need it to keep spinning on a horizontal basis to keep everything nice and even and make sure that it levels out. With UV resin and UV light, once the resin starts curing under the light, it's not going to move anymore. So you could actually put 2 full-size twist and stands in here, and all of the reflective vinyl is going to get that light to give exposure all the way through. So putting this together, you're going to take the power cord and put it through the cutout in the back, and then coming up from the bottom is the cord for the light that goes from the turntable and the light and the power cord. Anyways, pull it up over through this little cutout and plug it in. Make sure you have it in there nice and snug. And once you have that snug in there and your power cord is through the back, then you're going to go ahead and kind of finagle it, move it around, wiggle it around until you can get it lined up nicely so that the tabs go through the cutouts in the back to hold the bottom and the back piece together. And as you can see, this was giving me a little bit of a problem trying to get it lined up just so. The wire wanted to keep jumping out of the little cutout area. So just work with it until you can get it lined up, and then it will hold still once it's all locked into place. So here I can go ahead and put on the little rubber band that comes with the kit. I'm just going to slip it around this tab, and it has little indents on the sides that will hold it on there. So you don't have to worry about it coming off. And then I'm just going to do the one side that basically kind of holds it secure on there, and I'm going to move around to the other parts. I'm just going to line up my sides here, and then this is where I remembered that I put the turntable on without removing the protective cover on the bottom vinyl. So I'm just going to take that turntable off real quick and remove the cover. Again, just find a spot on the edge there where you can peel that protective cover up. And I'm going to go ahead and do that on each of the sides as well. And go ahead and put the turntable back on if you are going to use the turntable. So I'm going to start with the right side. Now you want to make sure that the cords for the switch go underneath where the tabs are when you're putting it together. And just line up the bottom and back tabs to get that lined up nicely. And again, I'm just going to put a couple of the rubber bands on. I'm not going to do all 4 of them on this side just yet. And before I put the left side on, I want to go ahead and put the top on. It just... And you can see I had it flipped around the wrong way. It's just a lot easier to put the top on before securing the left side. So I'm just going to go ahead and hold one part down with the rubber band. And now I'm going to go ahead and just line up the left side, kind of get the tabs put through the holes, the cutouts. But I'm not going to actually secure it with any rubber bands yet, because I need to get the door on there. And this is a lot easier to do when you can put the little tabs of the door in the holes on the side without both sides being secure. See how I need to move the left side out just a little bit to line that up. And there you go. Those are all lined up nicely. Door fits in. And now I can go ahead and finish putting on all of the rubber bands. Okay, once you have all of your rubber bands secured, the last thing you need to do is plug in the cord that goes from the switch to the power for the light. And what this does, it's a sensor. When the switch is closed, when the door is closed, it pushes the switch in, and that allows the light to turn on. When the door is open, the switch disengages and pops open, and that turns the light off. And that's a safety feature that you definitely want to make sure is working, because the light is very, very bright and it can damage your eyes. That's why it's in this enclosed box. So now you need to plug in to your power supply, and it's got the little timer on there. So here's the inside of the Sunlu Lightbox with all of our reflective vinyl put in there. So when you close the door and start the timer, the light will turn on, and you can see it around the edges there. That lets you know that the light's actually on and the timer is going. And when you open up the door, the light is going to automatically shut off because the switch down at the bottom has disengaged. And you close the door and the light comes back on. The turntable is already turning when the light is on, so that just goes automatic. Here's our Sunlu box all modified and ready for the pen twist and stand. There you go. Make sure you give us a like and subscribe to see any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this helps. Leave any comments below if you have any questions. Have a great day, y'all.